Hello, my sweet friends. This is Tracy. I am back again this season with some Christmas in July country crafts. Now, my flip flop Santa, my cheesy Christmas lights, and my upbeat beach music is back again to inspire you and create some things for Christmas in July. I'm so glad that you're here. Let's get started. For this project, I am making some cute farmhouse rustic Christmas ornaments. Now I'm starting with a couple of the wood cutting boards from Hobby Lobby. These were in the fall season. Picked them up pretty cheap. The paper that I'm using is from the Winterberry stack. That is also from Hobby Lobby. So what I did, guys, is I just pulled them on the front and just kind of traced it out just with my pen here. I kind of like to do it from the front so that I get the pattern that I want, just to make sure that I don't get off a bit. Since I am going to want to put those little leather straps back in there, I'm just going to take my pencil and just mark that hole so that I can take my multi-punch hole puncher that I picked up recently. I will have a link to it in the description because I did get some questions about that, and if it's something that you like, it has different sizes of holes so that you can punch out your paper or whatever you're dealing with. To attach the paper to the cutting boards, I'm just using the wet Mod Podge method. Since these are pretty cut and dry, I just put some Mod Podge on the bottom, and then I just stuck my paper on top. I let that dry before I put a layer of Mod Podge over the top, and just making sure that I didn't have any of the bubbles, and that just seals it all and gives me just a really nice finish. So what I did then is I just took my little finger sander. I got this one off of Amazon. It's a little Gator finger sander. Just love this so much. It's just so easy to work with. And so I just kind of sanded the edges of it just to expose just a little bit of that and kind of give it more of the rustic look. Then I took my antique linen distress ink, just little pad here. I did get these off of Amazon, but I have also seen them at the craft store in the ink pad section. I went around the edges just to give it a little bit of just kind of like highlight around the edges of it. I just really feel that it just ties in the rusticness for this project. And guys, I do want to mention that I was completely inspired when I ran across something very similar on Pinterest. I want to give credit for that inspiration, so we'll have the link for it in the description box, so please check that out. All right, so then for the embellishments, I have these small Christmas stockings. They're like made out of muslin material. They're cute already. I got these over at Hobby Lobby. They come 4 in a pack. So I'm going to be taking one of those. And then to decorate it for the inside, I am just going to be adding some different greenery, some berries, just some different embellishments just to give it the hint of greenery and the Christmas season that us country Christmas fans love so much. All of these just things like this just really make our projects pop, and also just makes my heart very happy. So guys, for the small Christmas tags for each of my little cutting board ornaments here, I'm using the clickable stamps. Guys, I was so inspired when I've seen my friends Jen and Linda both use these in their projects. And of course, I have to get some as well. You can find those over at Michael's. So what I do is I like to stamp on an old stamp pad. That is what's underneath there. And so once I get to the words the way that I want, then you can see me here, I'm kind of struggling with too much pressure at the beginning. And so then it's just kind of a learning curve to figure out how much pressure you want. And so I love these little clickable stamps because it has multiple letters and you can spell out different things. So I did Merry Christmas first, and then on the other one, the round one, I did Ho Ho Ho. And I also gave each of the small tags some distressing with my vintage photo distress ink. I apologize, I was out of the camera shot there, right there. Also, to give it a bit of dimension, I'm just using these 3D foam squares, or I call them pop dots. And so I just put some of that on the back of the little signs. Then I enhance it a bit, or secure it a little bit more with some hot glue so that my tag doesn't fall off. Over the years of just handling it, and these small cutting board ornaments, I was calling them ornaments, but they make perfect little gifts for coworkers, teacher gifts, just a friend that may be hurting, somebody special, just something, or just for a special someone, just to say, I'm thinking about you this Christmas. I have always been a fan of rustic country Christmas. Show you how simple it was to create these Christmas trees. Now guys, what I'm starting with is just some foam board, and I have a couple of things that I am going to be using to measure out. I figure I was going to pull out my ruler, but then I just grabbed one of my Perfect Tales boards. So my point is, use what you have, something that gives you the length or however for you to measure. So what I do also is just take my box blade, cut out the trees the size that I want them, and then I have 4 of these that I'm going to be doing here in this country Christmas project that I'm going to be creating with you. So once I get all of those cut out, then what I'm going to do, guys, is use some batting. It's just to give it a little bit of cushion, a little bit of thickness, so that they're not so flat. I want some form to my Christmas trees, and so this kind of fabric fill batting does the trick for me. So that's what I'm using. I just wrap that around my foam board just to give it some cushion. And how I covered these, guys, is in a previous video, I had shared that I hit the jackpot over at Hobby Lobby one time. These were remnants of just different fabric, and they were all in the pine green or the different colors of green for the Christmas season. I have been using them in so many projects. I use them on that Christmas wreath that I did for the gift shop that that's where I sell my wreaths at and that kind of thing. And I wanted to share with you how I created my Christmas trees, and so that may inspire you to create some for yourself. I am going to be making a small kind of shelf sitter for a shelf. I'm just using one of those boxes. It's actually signs that I got from Hobby Lobby. I paid $1.29 for it during their 90% off sale. It actually is a sign that you can hang on the wall, but I am using it for a small box. So I'm going to be putting in some floral foam, and one I had just cut down to size, and I had, when I was taking off the kind of hanger, the sawtooth hanger, I had stubbed my finger, and so that's why I was bleeding. Sorry. You know, in crafting, there's always some war wounds. And so, guys, what I'm using here, this is from Hobby Lobby as well, and it is it's called Wood Bundle, and it is in the Christmas crafts section, and so it is already together, and so I'm going to be wrapping that around the small box. So what I'm doing to cover the bottom of the box, I am just taking some of the paper out of that winter berry paper stack that I got from Hobby Lobby, just attaching that to the bottom. You could also paint it, but I was really inspired to use some scrapbook paper that I had on hand, so that's why I'm using that. And then to attach the wood bundle around this box, I am just using a combination of my 3-in-1 beacon glue as well as hot glue. Now, I was careful when because these are like a small logs, and so they're glued all together, but I was one had come off, and it was not a problem. I just glued it back together. And so it comes on this felt type of paper that has all of them together. And so I just made sure that my logs would wrap around the box, like at the corners, so that it would lay nicely. And surprisingly, when I wrapped the wood bundle all the way around, it was just like one log short. If it would have been just one log longer, it would have wrapped all the way around. But it's not a big deal because I'm going to face that to the back anyway. But I could always add another little log that I get from the Dollar Tree or something like that. Or buy another bundle and just take off one log and slip that in there so that it looks like it's cohesive all the way around. And for a filler, I just pulled out my favorite fine Excelsior. It's kind of like Spanish moss, and just kind of put that over the styrofoam in the box. All right, to decorate my trees, what I did, guys, is I used some of these giant craft sticks just to have it glued so that I could stick them into the styrofoam. Then to decorate them, to give them just a little bit of embellishment, I pulled out some wooden buttons. Now, these buttons I've probably got at Hobby Lobby or either Walmart, and I just put them in a little plastic tray container to keep them all together. So then I'm just going to attach them with my 3-in-1 beacon glue, just to glue those to the actual front of it like that. I decided to just use the 3 trees. I felt that the 4th tree was just a little bit too much, and anyway, I'll use that for another project. All right, so then for the tops of the trees, for the small bow, I have this ribbon that I got from Hobby Lobby. I love it. It's in the fabric section. I'll put the link there, or actually I'll put the picture there if you want to look for that. I just love it so much, and so I just made a kind of like a shoestring bow, just 2-loop bow, and then I glued that to the top of each of my Christmas trees. I wanted to keep it with more of the woodland theme, so I pulled out many greenery bushes that I had clipped off pieces of those and just stuck them into the styrofoam. And I just love the way that this turned out. It's so versatile, and I didn't glue anything down so I can remove everything and so that I can store it and enjoy it for years to come. When I ran across this faux leather ribbon in Hobby Lobby, I said that is the perfect gingerbread color. So I decided to make some gingerbread dobo filler or ornies or something like that, just to have them around my home for the season. So what I did is I just traced out a pattern, just cut it out of a circle using some cardstock, and then I just traced it out on the faux leather. And then what I'm doing to get the both sides the same, I'm just using some stick pins just to pin it there, and then using my sharp scissors, I cut it out. I'm just going to use some hot glue to glue these shut. Now I'm leaving a bit of an opening so I can put in some fabric fill in there, some stuffing for my little dough bowl ornaments, or ornies in the primitive country world. That's what we call them. I'm going to be painting up a cute little gingerbread face and just making her so sweet. Purchased 2 rolls of the brown faux leather looking this color like this, so I ended up making 4 of the gingerbread ornaments. 2 of them I have with a little bit different shape, a little more elongated face, and now I'm just giving them some white paint splatter and making them just look so stinking cute. this next project just taps into my country heart. I finally had a chance to make some candy canes out of those hair rollers that you can get over at the Dollar Tree. They're bendable, and the fabric is a ticking fabric that I also got over at the Dollar Tree. So check your supplies to see if you can snag some of this ticking fabric too. If you can't find it at the Dollar Tree, no worries, because you can get it at places like Hobby Lobby or my favorite online shop, which is JubileeFabric.com. I will have a link to that in the description box. All right, guys, so what I did, these hair rollers, I have two different sizes, and so I'm going to be making some fatter candy canes, some skinnier candy canes, and also some like peppermint sticks kind of thing. I just wanted to kind of share with you just the idea of what you can do with these hair rollers. And so making candy canes is nothing new for me. I have made them several times here on my channel. I have made some with homespun fabric as well as with a black and white theme. And so I love decorating with candy canes, especially in my dough bowls, and just kind of put them in different plants and just different places around my home, because it just adds just a little something extra for the holiday season. So what I do is I just cut strips, or actually don't cut, I just take my scissors and just rip strips of fabric. Now by doing these, I have found that if I cut my or like put little slits in the fabric about 1.5 inches or a little over 1 inch, then I rip it, I can get a better roll around. And so that's what I do. I just wrap it around each of the hair rollers, and then just kind of, this particular ticking piece of fabric was only so wide, and I wanted this certain stripes to go a certain way. So that's why I did it the way I did it. But when you have strips of fabric that you rip like this and you just glue them together, you really can't tell, because at the end I'm going to show you how I add the sparkle to my candy canes. To add the sparkle, I'm using my Craft Bond spray as well as glitter. Now this glitter is the Snow Swirl, and I got it from Hobby Lobby. And so I spray the candy canes as well as the peppermints one side, and then sprinkle on some glitter, let that dry, and then turn them over and spray the other side. And they just turned out wonderful. I have made some more firecrackers using the hair rollers. I will leave a link to that in the description if you would like to check that out, because I love to take this and make that out of it.